to the CSL 2017-2018 season. We are going to be bringing you UConn versus McMaster Day. Who are we? Well, that is Wivrex and the Wonder Cow himself, Gorgon.
Gorgon's fine. I heard you stumble a little bit. Oh wow, KYR is giving me a shout out here. I didn't know that he played for McMaster. Yeah, no, it's good to be back.
We got Kairai?
We got Kyrai, yeah.
Kairai, for those who do not know, we were actually just briefly talking about this. An old community member from the .p now Force Spirit community, someone that both of us have probably known for quite a while.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I talked to Kyrai either, because work has kept me kind of away from the community side of things and in that I guess you would call it a guild. In that guild for a little while, but geez, good to see him. Hope he doesn't embarrass himself.
Well, as someone that we know, we are allowed to be a little bit more harsh on him. That is a fact. That is law. That is Dota law.
That is Dota law. Yeah. Of course, I'm equally harsh on everybody because UConn was the second place team last year. And I recognize Melody. I think I recognize Bellicoso. I think the other three are new this year, so that's interesting. Majority new team coming back and trying to match their predecessors. That's a pretty good narrative if I had the wherewithal to flesh it out.
I do see here McMaster though. They're no slouches. No games lost. They are undefeated both semesters.
Oh, so Kyrai must be a stand-in.
So we've got him. Kairai on the different teams that I've cast a number of his games outside of CSL as well, and there's his friends, his teammates. We've got a couple of established sayings. There's the Kairai die. That's where he goes out way too aggressive and dies, or another alternate for that is the Kai Why. Why on earth did you do that?
I like the Kai Huai personally because it comes up far more often than the Kyrai die, right? Far more often he gets somebody else killed than he gets himself killed.
Because part of the strat, and I don't want to give too much here to any of the other teams watching, but a lot of the strategies that other teams would use against him is to just make sure that they disrupt him, and so his team would usually compensate by pretty much everyone's expendable but him. And so exactly like you just said is that he will end up getting other people killed because they will throw everything to make sure that he can carry the game. But that it's a strategy because it works exceptionally well.
Right. It'll be interesting to see how that works here. Obviously, my exposure to watching Kyrai play is mostly from knowing him from guild life, right? So that's a pretty wild discrepancy in skill levels when you're doing in-houses. I guess there's a pretty wild discrepancy in skill levels in between members of these teams as well, but at least they're both teams that are practiced with each other, that are familiar with each other's play style, or at least their team within their own team, each other's play style. And so maybe that stacking it all on Kyrai's sort of strategy not going to be nearly as effective in this environment.
Yeah, and Kairai, I wanted to go see his. Oh, we are not friends, Kairai. Come on, man. But
He's not even friends with me, and I'm Dota famous. What is this?
I was gonna go see his rank. I imagine he's one of those Divine 5 players.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he was not at least Divine 3. I've been surprised before. Some people that I thought, oh, that's a Divine 5, absolutely. I go in and check their rank, and it turns out, oh, they had a little bit of trouble with their party MMRs, dragging them down when they calibrated, as it turns out.
Oh, did that actually party MMR did factor into the new ranking
if you were
calibration?
calibrated, yeah, if you were calibrated, then it definitely had an impact. I don't want to name names, but a certain team manager / translator that I know came in way lower than he belonged because of his party. So
that's
and I know a couple
no fun
other
at all.
people who, you know, had some difficulty because they were playing with schmucks like me.
Well, apparently we're waiting on the game coordinator. Is the word that I'm hearing here in the chat?
You know, that game coordinator, he's always sleeping. You'd think they'd hire another one, but what are you going to do? I guess serving up a million games an hour or whatever gets played in Dota is pretty good
It's
for
Valve.
one guy.
It's Valve. They only ever have one employee for any one thing.
Yeah. It's the same guy who's making Half-Life 3, and that's why it's taking so long.
And is head of their PR department.
Oh, yeah, well, that's an easy job, at least.
Did you do anything today? No? Then you
Nope.
have accomplished our company objective.
Yeah, the whole no PR department for Valve, definitely an interesting call, especially when I don't know if you caught this story a couple weeks ago about the co-creator of Counter-Strike getting arrested for making child pornography. But that's a moment where maybe a PR department could be helpful.
Maybe one guy to throw out the template, the company template of we do not share these.
Right. Maybe one guy
does not
just
reflect
to respond to a couple.
Our policy.
Maybe throw the Daily Dot a quick interview like, hey, we didn't know about this, obviously, and everything else at Valve is cool. Like one of those would have gone a long way in terms of riding out that storm. But hey,
even just a tweet, like that'll get that'll reach enough people. The boilerplate, these do not reflect our company values. Boom.
Yeah. Though I will say, if you are ever in a position where you have to say making child pornography does not reflect our company's values,
something has gone terribly
really wrong. Yeah.
Which I just want to say here at CSL, we do not. Oh wait, no, I don't need to do that. I hope
you don't represent CSL in that capacity. We need to ask Cheesehead Logic.
That is. Oh yeah, I don't want to misspeak here. We should probably get an official statement. We don't know
for sure that I would suspect. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. I have worked with CSL for an extended period, and I've gotten no indication that CSL is in favor of child pornography.
Yeah, absolutely, but you don't want to misspeak. This is
exactly. I don't want to get fired, so I'm just.
I think we're working
my
on
views
it right
may
now.
not represent the views of Collegiate Star League.
How I know that that one of the CS:GO gamblers is in the news right now. They're suing Twitch based on they had. I guess his whole lawsuit hinges on that any changes or issues with him streaming needed to be spelled out in a written letter, and it was delivered like electronically or something like that. So Twitch is in some kind of breach of contract for banning for those who don't know, his channel got banned for promoting his own website, not disclosing it, as with the whole gambling issue that happened there a few months ago. Or actually, it was like a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, that would have been before the skin sites started dropping off the face of the earth. Thank God. But now that we're and I will, in the name of full disclosure, I will go ahead and point out that I am a content manager for UConn, so obviously I have some pretty strong views about skin gambling websites, given that my day job is for a legitimate gambling company. But let's move into the game.
Yeah, let's move into the game indeed. The Omni Knight getting banned out, a staple of the current patch. What do we got? We should have patch dropping later this week. That's right, the next update.
Yeah, this Thursday. And I actually haven't read the last patch yet. Yeah.
Oh,
so
Gordon,
you'll have to keep me up to date about what's going on.
The gist of it is that the first bounty runes now give 40 gold to your entire team versus just the person who picks it up. Supports can now get 15% of the value of a stacked camp when it is cleared by their team. 15% bonus value, so it doesn't take away from the person farming it. What was
just
some of the
supports, or I assume just in
anyone
general?
who stacked the camp.
Oh, it's whomever.
As long as you didn't stack the camp.
I see. Interesting. That's actually a really reasonable change that seems intuitive now that you say it, but never would have thought of it. And bear in mind, I did patch analysis pretty much full time for like 4 or 5 years so that I would never have thought of it. Hopefully says something
10
about
seconds
either how
remaining.
out of practice I am or how good of an idea
5
it is.
seconds remaining. Radiant
And then careers are now 50 gold.
That's a weird decision.
And tangos are bought in packs of 3 now at the price of 90 gold.
Oh. Okay. Wait, before it was 110 for 5?
125 for 5.
125 for 4?
125 for 5.
I was going to say, I my price might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there were 5 in those things.
Yes.
Okay, so it's the same price, basically. You said 75 for 3, right?
90 for 3.
Oh, so the price went up overall. Oh, great.
Yep,
Inflation.
Yep, 5
is
gold
pretty
per.
good.
But this has been a long needed change, mainly because the icon for tangos have 3.
Oh, I have noticed that a lot of people are digging Bane lately, at least in my little world, availability heuristic. I remember a lot of discussion about core Bane right when, God, it would have been a little bit after the Boston Major. A lot of people were thinking, oh, core Bane with these new changes and the nightmare attacks and stuff. And then they instantly nerfed him to make sure that it didn't get too out of control. Or maybe this was right after TI. My God,
This was
Wilbur,
after
especially-
TI.
Yeah, it was after TI. You get to a certain point in time,
They all just blend together.
they all blend together, and literally the patch that I stopped doing patch analysis like professionally, everything, my entire hierarchy. I before I had like a mind palace. If you've ever watched Sherlock, right? I could walk down through the stairwell and pull out 6.27C from my little file and tell you exactly what change they made to Lifestealer in that patch and how they changed it 4 months later in such and such patch. And now I'm having trouble telling it patches apart even. I swear. It's a real
I still,
problem.
every once in a while, I'll be like, you remember that? It was a couple patches ago. They nerfed sticky napalm and firefly damage on neutral creeps.
And you're
No,
like,
that
oh
was
wait, no,
like
that was
3 years ago.
2013. Yeah, that was 2013. Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, little bit of Dota trivia though. Batrider is the
Number 1.
number 1, but he's also the only hero to receive consecutive nerfs
10
while
seconds
maintaining
remaining.
a top 10 slot.
Dire team back.
And it was a
terms of
period of
professional play.
years that it kept happening, right?
Yeah, over and over and over and over and over and over again. I think Lena might be the only other hero to receive anywhere near the same number of consecutive nerfs. But this is starting to get into the point where I feel both old and dotardly. So let's talk a little bit about the picture.
Yeah. So on the UConn side, the Naga Disruptor, it's a classic pickup. Naga is an amazing roaming support right now. Meteor Hammer the changes to Meteor Hammer where she can set that up in time with her cancel song really makes her especially effective. Combining it with the Disruptor means that they're going to have a very good setup for a Static Storm, and we'll be able to just dump damage into her depending on what they get. Something like a Shadow Fiend is exactly like what might go well with that.
Yeah.
Quap is still in the pool though, so I suspect McMasters will probably pick that up as it's not going to be banned out.
Yeah, Quap is a very, very strong laning counter to Shadow Fiend. I don't necessarily know that if that Shadow Fiend does end up getting some stacks, particularly from the Naga Siren, and then catches
5
back up. I don't know that the mid-late game Queen of Pain is the best choice here, but as long as you can get some momentum, it'll work. And that Luna, definitely a momentum hero.
So Gordon, question: I can see what UConn's got right here. They've got great setup and team fight, and then the Shadow Fiend for late game. McMasters, I'm having a hard time drawing some connections besides the
10
purplish blue.
seconds remaining.
What are you seeing in this draft so far?
Radiant
My
team
God, how much do you need? There's purplish blue, dude. That's everything, right? Yeah, Bane and Slardar work really well together in lane. Potentially, we could be looking at an aggressive tri-lane or a roaming Bane into that mid lane with the Slardar coming along as well. Just because you do
10
have that
seconds
Slithering Crush to
remaining.
set up off of the Nightmare, and the Nightmare is able to get out a pretty decent amount of damage with those
5
auto
seconds
attacks
remaining.
as well. The Luna, I'm expecting to make more sense a few picks down the line, because right now I agree with you. It doesn't really make sense. The Glaives wake up, Nightmare targets. There's really no control on this team that's reliable, and so the Luna is going to have a little bit of difficulty staying a safe distance away. Let's
missing.
take a look at what they end up grabbing.
Yeah.
They banned a clockwork. I was going to say maybe a clockwork gives him a little more control, but maybe a witch doctor is going to come out here instead.
They're missing a little bit of that push element that you see in all the drafts right now. So Dragonite's been a big popular way to combat that. Other than that, they're gonna need. Oh, there we go, Jug.
All right.
I'm still not seeing it fit in. This is gonna be a mid Jug, right?
Yeah, it's got to be right. The Luna's not going to be able to stand up to the Shadow Fiend. She doesn't have the innate HP pool, and Shadow Fiend's magic burst early in the game is way too strong. That and the fact that Luna's range for a ranged hero not really that good, and she just wouldn't stand up to it. Whereas the Juggernaut has a higher base attack damage, a better attack animation, is going to be able to dip in and out, and has that healing ward to keep him up. He should be able to keep himself within a relatively safe zone so that he doesn't have to necessarily worry about being bursted down.
Yeah.
And he can't be bursted down while he's retreating as long as he has Blade Fury. So
Exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, most heroes suffer from that problem where if you get in a certain position with Shadow Fiend, you have to just sit there and fight him, because if you try and run away, you're gonna die. Juggernaut, as long as he can spin, he'll just leave.
Right. So there are a lot of reasons why the Juggernaut probably works out into the Shadow Fiend. It's not my first pick by any stretch. Anytime you have a one-on-one ranged hero into a melee hero, the ranged hero typically is going to be coming in at an advantage unless they're at a lane equilibrium disadvantage, which probably will not be the case in the mid lane.
10 seconds remaining.
You know, that said, I've been surprised before, and the Shadow Fiend does not have any way to escape. So a good Nightmare set up for a Blade Fury is basically a kill by itself.
So McMaster, they're really lacking in the control here. Do you think going with the purplish blue, they might be going here for an off-lane Enigma? It's their one thing they've got. They don't have the best. Actually, they've still got pretty good interrupts for it. Astral can come stomp it. Naga can net it.
Faceless Void, if you're going to go with the purplish blue and off-lane.
There you go, Underlord.
There's an Underlord. That's sort of gray, I guess. You could see that as purple if you had brain damage, so that works. By the way, if Underlord looks purple to you guys, see a neurologist, because he shouldn't. That said, Gyrocopter coming out here, this feels a little greedy to me, the Gyro.
Yeah. I mean, he can... Their team, UConn, they don't have the biggest ease of execution, which is something that we like a lot in a lineup. But if they really just go for the fight, I'm not sure what McMaster can really do. They've got Call Down Earth Splitter, raises the Static Storm and Kinetic Field into Song, and Song to set all of that up. How do you fight that?
Yeah, well, they do have, unless the execution is perfect on that combo, right? Nightmare is going to give an amount of invulnerability that should keep the Luna alive if executed right after Song. And the Juggernaut is going to be able to use Blade Fury, right? So you need to perfectly stack the Song with the Call Down, with the Disruptor ult. You need to get everybody together. The Stomp needs to land after the Disruptor ult, probably, because it's very, very difficult to land that frame by frame with Song End. So until they get that Meteor Hammer up on the Nagasar, and then it becomes much, much easier, because like you said, that's a one-man combo and very easy to land after the changes.
So it is going to be, this is McMaster here on the Radiant, and we'll have UConn on the Dire. That should be reflected there in the overlay that I remembered to change this time around.
So proud of you.
I'm growing.
My little man's growing up. But yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot every time there's this is the worst thing about patches every 2 weeks. Every time there's a patch, it changes my hotkeys back to normal.
Oh, this is going to be terrible for you.
Yeah, and I've spent more days away from home than home because of work for this entire year. And so I don't even have time, in the amount of time it takes me to reset my goddamn hotkeys, I could have played 2 games of Dota, you know what I mean? This is terrible. They really should fix that. Gaben, help me out.
Have you set up an auto exec?
No.
Can't you put that all into that, I think?
I know.
30 seconds
I
to
would
bat.
lecture you about it, but there's, the auto execs for casting I still haven't set up, so I have no position to do that.
So, what's funny is I do have an auto exec for casting, but it's pre like reborn.
All right, so
like it's basically Dota 2 beta and something in it's broken. So.
all right, before we go into this, I want to give you the last couple changes in 7.09. These mid-tier 1 towers are a bit closer to the ramp now, so it's a bit harder to get a wrap around
Battle
on.
begins.
Never mind, we are going to have a fight in the top, and Logan is making his way away. He's a bit low. They've got the rocket barrages flying out, but Ego is getting quite low. All of Dire's team, in fact, getting quite low. Logan will be the first one to go down. They get a crush onto Unclose. Unclose as well. Now going to be caught inside the... Or no, that's his own kinetic field. It's going to buy him the space he needs to get out of here. Unbelievable.
They still got, I think, the rune and the first blood, right? Yeah, Kairai ended up grabbing that rune, and then they managed to grab the first blood. So Kairai went in way too deep here.
Get under the tower and take quite a few shots, and we'll have to TP back to base.
That's actually a really expensive overextension, right? Because now he's going to be sitting here. His TP is on cooldown, so not only the cost of the TP, but all of this time that he would be in lane. And he's not going to have level 2 that much faster. He's going to need that sprint in order to rotate around through lanes.
He saw the
And by the
kinetic
way,
field come down as well and chose to go into it.
Yeah. This is a aggressive tri-lane, just to point out, as I had mentioned, with the Bane and with the Slardar. That makes a lot of sense. The Luna maybe not necessarily the hero that I would pick for this because she's a bit fragile and you don't have any sustaining heal in this lane. But other than that. And there's the setup. Ego is asleep. The Slithering Crush is going to come out as soon as that net is down.
Getting both of them now. Ego going to eat a Lucid Beam as well. Ego chased down. Logan first hit onto him. Now Logan trying to make his way away. Goes into the trees, eats his way through, and he's going to just fine. Crush will miss.
Nice little juke there. Interesting smoke coming out of Unclose.
Broken
sure.
already.
Well, it was going to do expire. I assumed that smoke was just for the movement speed bonus, but that says a lot about this team, that they think an early smoke is worth it just for the movement speed bonus to get the Disruptor back home that much sooner, instead of rotating with it. I guess a Naga Siren Disruptor isn't a terribly high kill potential rotation into a Juggernaut. You're probably not going to catch that Underlord out, so maybe you're not really planning on being able to get anything done with the smoke anyway. Here's that rotation smoke coming out of Kairai and suboptimal support on the Bane. This is what we were talking about. There's a lot of kill potential here. We've already seen it in the top lane, and the Nightmare is ready.
They're just waiting for Insane to try and push out a little bit, maybe go for a raise or a last hit.
He does have boots. They've got about 15 seconds left on this smoke, so they're going to need to go or go high ground and wait for the night. Looks like they're going to probably wait for the night. This is really good awareness.
Yeah, that's still a minute and 15 seconds away, though, so they'll be waiting a while. TP's coming out. Oh, it goes onto the top. They get the Luna, and the TPs were not in time. They even glimpse him back to the top. Now Kairai is going to be eating a missile in the mid lane as soon as it arrives.
Not sure what he's doing walking into the mid lane like that either. They're taking auto attacks for no real apparent reason.
Oh, he's got shot down. Elder Titan's going to be able to kill the Underlord.
And he got out of there just barely. Yeah, the real problem with this aggressive tri-lane up top, once again, the Luna has no healing sustain. And she's not a hero that can really be left alone under pressure, even in a safe lane. She does very poorly under pressure. It's one of the reasons why, you know, she was Dota's most popular carry for the better part of a year. Not that long ago, like within the last 3 or 4 years, and you just don't see her anymore until recently.
They're going to crush out on a Logan. Naga gets the Riptide out, trying to make her way away, but a Lucid Beam will be there. Rocket Barrage flying out, but not doing enough damage. Yeah,
and so all these kills are great in that they are providing some fodder and providing a little lumber, I guess, for the bonfire that you're hoping will be this Luna. Well, once again, now if they plan on rotating away, which they are, they're going to try and get this. Oh, that was a mistake, grabbing that Invis rune. Did you catch that?
I did not.
So these two are coming in
Oh,
smoked
instead,
past
Insane
an invis.
is going to be able to body block up. He gets the crush out onto Shadow Fiend, but TPs are here immediately from Disruptor, and he actually just cancels it, seeing that everyone is backing up.
I mean, they walked in and saw that invis rune and grabbed it instead of like camping it. They could have just sat in Roche. They had smoke, so they would have known as soon as the Shadow Fiend came up, because their smoke would have disappeared. They could have popped out, slept him before he got that invis rune and gotten the kill. Instead, Insane's going to walk away with no damage basically at all from that rotation.
He saw that the invis rune got claimed, right, and backed up immediately.
Right. Mid's getting pretty low. High End actually being forced here to use the Blade Fury in the retreat. And his healing ward is on cooldown now too.
Oh, he's gonna get taken down by the long range raise. I thought when he made it out of there he'd be playing it safe, but he just tickled the edge of his range a little bit too much.
Yeah,
Very
you
much
really
disaster.
can't do that, right? This is the downside of being melee up against Shadow Fiend. If you come into a disadvantage and you don't have that heal, you cannot be in lane. Because you can.
Oh, December's gone onto the top now. They got the Rocket Barrage flying out. Homing Missile coming in as well. As soon as these supports leave, they just put the pressure to the Luna, and she can't stand in the lane.
Yeah, well, also they're leaving at really inopportune times, right? Like, look at this lane equilibrium. There's no reason for supports to be gone when the Luna has to be here just to get experience.
Net out on Kyrai. Kyrai's fine.
Is under attack.
Yeah, he should be okay. December actually wants to make something happen here, but I don't think they're going to be able to close this gap. Yeah. Pitlord's been given some decent. Oh god, I can't even move my last hits denies here. Some decent free reign down here as of the last couple minutes, though. He did get that one death. Oh boy, actually down bottom, the courier is going to be shielded up, and the courier is actually going to body block the other.
Attacks on the top. Bane is trying to make his way away. Logan chasing him down, but they'll have a Lucy to claim him. Logan going very deep on that. And they get another kill, but there's still the same problems in this top lane, right?
Yeah,
Despite what they're getting.
Every time that they get one of those kills, it's mitigating damage that they've already sustained.
Yeah,
because
and
his Luna is not getting as much as she would have in the safe lane.
And it's on the 4 and the 5, whereas the position 1 keeps dying here on McMaster.
Right. Now, what I will say is that the Juggernaut's doing very well in the mid lane, despite the fact that he died that one time. 31 and 11 is great. And the Underlord's far outlaning the Elder Titan. And so they are getting stuff out of the other lanes. The real question to ask is, are they getting enough out of the other lanes to open up some space for this Luna to catch up?
Here we go, another engagement. The top Kyrai caught inside the kinetic field. They're going on to Logan. Logan making it away just barely enough HP. Now, Brain Sap on the Ego. Ego's going to be chasing him down. They get the sprint. Kyrai makes his way away, but now December body blocked up. They've got the glimpse as well. December is deep. Could get one more shot onto Unclosed. No, it's going to be a raise rotation from Insane.
That's too bad he had gotten enough mana to use his Lucent Beam if he only had time for the cast animation there.
Do you think he had yeah, he probably had the damage to get another right click and kill on Unclose.
Yeah, either way, it was very, very close, right? That could have gone a 1-for-1, although you don't want to be exchanging your core for a support anytime. Lukey is going to pick up an Invis room down bottom. He does not have much health or mana, but he does have a Soul Ring.
And a Shrine.
I mean, he could get a solo kill on Air of Nutching if Air of Nothing is unprepared for this Invis rotation, which why would he be? He has no wards up. Like, his whole team, I think, has 0 wards. So this is going to be happening down in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, they're moving up in the top lane.
Once again, yeah, going aggressively. Rocket Barrage coming out of their Kyrai. Lucy Beam into Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter going to try and make his way away. The Flat Cannon picking up Kyrai. Limps back onto December. Now they've got the net. Unclosed coming in. Static Field is available, or Kinetic Field. There we go. December caught inside the Kinetic Field. Ego's in the back line, just shooting away as much as he can. Another second or so on a homing missile. And now Ego just going to get nightmared up. Can they do anything about this? 2 seconds for Rocket Barrage. No. That selfless support Unclosed will take that nightmare off. Make sure you can get back.
Yeah, very smart. There's no way that they're going to be able to dive any farther than that where that gyrocopter was. So being able to just take that off, especially given the health that Unclose had, just a good intuitive play, but not all support.
Diving onto Air of Nothing in the bottom. One more second. Yep.
Yeah, it's really difficult to get that kill in the Elder Titan just because of his movement speed, right? Meanwhile, in the mid, another kill into the Juggernaut, and that's really where you start to say, okay, this guy's lost this lane.
Yeah, trading quite evenly in last hits and eyes, but that doesn't matter as much when you've died twice.
Right. Not only in terms of experience, now the Shadow King has gotten multiple waves that the Juggernaut hasn't, and is well over a full level ahead, but he's also about 1,000 net worth ahead at this stage, too.
December could be getting caught out. They've got Glimpse available. Kinetic Field goes down. Get a Trapper here for a little bit. They get a net. Nightmare goes on to Ego, but once again, Disruptor's going to take it off. Eclipse coming out, but Insane is rotated in. Gets that raise out into him. The Glimpse onto suboptimal support. So just put him up about in the same place as if he was walking. Spin up onto Ego. Kinetic Field will be able to catch high end. The Omni Slash is ready, but he just can't close the gap. He's going to have to cut through the trees, and now making his way away. And Sen is in the back, putting the race in, should be able to get a kill onto suboptimal. No, he's nightmared up. No one's taking it off. But the call down will come in, make the hit. Second hit. They've got it with the Rocket Barrage.
Yeah, Luna's not ready for a fight like that yet. She doesn't have any items up. And obviously the Naga Siren at this level is a very, very strong counter to the Eclipse.
Now, nothing in particular is getting chased down on the bottom. Luna's coming in. She's got the Lucid Beam. They just get the vision on him. They get the Stomp. Now he's going to have to walk through the Firestorm. Earth Splitter coming through, and a rotation in from Logan. The Lucid Beam will get the kill, but Luki's pretty low. He's going to have to pop up that Rift. He's going to take December with him. No, he'll get a bounty rune on the exact frame that he leaves.
You know, it's nice to take a little something with you, other than the Elder Titan's life, which of course they also took. But you're happy to trade your Elder Titan in that case. This Elder Titan honestly does not feel like he's going to be hugely impactful until there's just that one giant combo. Until then, he's not gotten the experience, he's not gotten the support or the priority in order to make an impact. His ultimate doesn't really do that much at this stage in the game. 30% movement slow is nobody really cares. 30% max HP. Okay, but most of the heroes, there aren't really any big tanks that matter on the other teams anyway. So the percent base HP in this stage in the game probably not as good as just having some raw burst.
Now McMasters, they're going to rotate that Luna down to the bottom after that that struggle she had there on the top, so hopefully she'll be able to farm up a bit here. The Elder Titan, of course, out-leveling her since it was such a lane that both offlaners were able to sit in so well.
Yeah, and this is a good call because she really needs the space, although she isn't really able. This tells you just exactly how weak this Luna is in really any sort of non-supported condition. She's being forced out of the lane by the Elder Titan and is just going into the jungle instead. She's going to miss the stack too. So,
Luki netted up in the top, so they're going to use the call down onto him immediately. He throws down the pit, and he's trying to make his way away. Static Storm going to catch both Kairai and Luki. Glimpse back? No, it was on Juggernaut. He's going to spin that away. Luki making his way away. Here comes the Requiem. It only hits. They get the kill onto Luki, but the rest of the team is running away. Oh, high end and suboptimal caught inside the kinetic field. Omni Slash goes out. They're going to be able to kill one with the Earth Splitter and even chase down high end.
Yeah, this is starting to look pretty grim, right? I mean, this is all without the big wombo combo. This is not supposed to be happening at this juncture in the game. You're supposed to be able to hold your own with this draft until the Naga-san starts setting up kills. So the fact that they are just running in and dying, not even getting one, tells you a lot about the state of this game. It looks like this is really not that significant of a lead. You know, it's less than 1k gold. Lead actually in favor of Radiant, but in terms of throttle, this is very close to getting it.
Yeah, McMaster is supposed to be on right now. They're not supposed to be in cruise control.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, I mean, they're neutral and they're looking down a hill. And the question here is, are they going backward or forward? They really need to start getting some towers and winning some of these fights. Pretty much now. I don't even think they have time to wait for items. They really need it to happen right now.
Dire's top tower is
Luna
under
looks like she's
attack.
getting her Mask of Madness is complete and delivered out. Alright. Luki trying to push the top tower again. And that is the call down. TP's coming in. Luki is just going to use the rift to get the hell out of there. Oh, but they glimpse him at the perfect time. He'll bring him back to the tower. He's going to try and go for the tower kill, but instead it will get denied.
That's a very nice play. The glimpse is such a strong skill.
Radiant's
You
bottom
really need to
tower
make sure that
is
you're not
under
putting
attack.
yourself out and in any sort of position that could be dangerous, especially with the follow-up of the net. The control is just so much easier for UConn in this game overall. Like, they have many
Oh,
ways.
Insane
to
going for
hunt.
the Yule's combo. Never mind, he is going to get Nightmare, or sorry, Fiend's Grips. They're putting the damage into him, and one more shot. There they go. Great kill to get on December and on the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah,
That
that will
high end. Do
definitely
they know
help.
he's here?
No.
Radiant's
Oh, that was high end speak. Okay.
Yeah. You know, they're still exchanging towers here, though.
Hit out on Elder Titan. Now they're going to try and close the gap. They've got the blink up on Kairai Crush. Now they're going to be able to catch Elder Titan. Elder Titan should be going for a stomp here in a moment. Getting spun up. They're going to use the counter song. And even able to root up Juggernaut. Instead, they're going to turn around 3 caught into the static sword with the kinetic field as well. There goes the Earth Splitter. A stomp onto high end. High end could take a couple more shots and go down. There's the Astral to get that kill. Kairai dying as well. Now it loops back onto Luki. They're using the call down. They've got a kinetic field. Hit. Everyone's just going to be caught up in this spot, but the Rocket Barrage, more than enough damage. What a turnaround
Radiant's
from
top tower
UConn.
is under attack.
Oh, geez. That's really painful to watch because that was almost the engagement that you really needed from MAC. And they pretty much just traded away their last opportunity, I would expect, to really start taking control of this game. At this point in time, we're already at the stage where we're talking, oh, it requires a mistake from UConn in order for this game to really go back into the way of McMaster.
Alright, Kairai's out front. He's going to get a crush on the gyro, but the rest of the team not backing him up, not behind him. Leave him to his fate. The in that last engagement, the high end, I believe he had his Omni Slash up and might have wanted to use that right away to secure the kill quickly. I can understand not wanting to use it, especially when you're level 10 and you're pretty, I don't know.
I don't think he would have gotten to 11 with.
He needs 12 to get it, which is he's
Oh,
still
yeah,
not
no,
close
no.
enough.
So yeah, he should have absolutely. I don't even know what the thought process would be that you wouldn't Omni Slash a hero by yourself.
Alright, gonna try and go for the crush on close. He's gonna get rooted up now. The rest of the team turning around onto him again. Kairai running out will barely be able to survive the call down high end, though, taking quite a lot of physical damage through his spin. He's got his ward up, he's healing away. Their Splitter not gonna hit anyone this time. Nightmare coming out onto Elder Titan. They've got the net on Juggernaut caught behind the tower. Are they gonna push him? No, they're gonna let him go. They do find the Bane in the back line, so their easy source of control will be out of this. Already lost Kairai actually, and Loki is down as well. 3 down, they're gonna pressure this tower. That'll be 2 tier 1s claimed here for UConn.
Yeah, you know, on the back lines, Luna was able to strip that tier 2, I think, during the last fight. So bottom tier 2 did go down, and that is helping to keep the gold differential pretty close. Unfortunately, a Juggernaut Luna team is really dependent on having the upper hand, not just staying basically even. Like, that's a team that wants to get early gold through towers and then utilize that early gold to take fight advantages. And it looks like they ended up getting themselves into a position where they had to try to take fight advantages in order to open up the space to get those towers. That's not the direction that you typically want to do it when you have 2 really strong pushing cores. So, looking forward into the remainder of this game, you know, I already said I kind of think this requires a mistake from, UConn, in order for McMaster to really get back into this. Do you agree with me? Do you think that McMaster have something in their back pocket, or is it an overextension that gets them back in the game, if anything?
Yeah, I think it's pretty tough, right? Because without the early fight advantage, without the early tower advantage, McMaster is gonna have to farm the map, right? They're gonna have to take a passive stance and farm, but it's gonna be really difficult as they're slowly ceding more and more map control.
Yeah, I honestly, I really just don't know what they do and try and create that mistake either. Presumably what's going to happen is there's going to be a big engagement, right? The Naga Siren song is going to be used, so will the Disruptor ult, maybe also the Earth Splitter. And then UConn sticks around after spending all of those ults and maybe killing one or two heroes, and finds themselves a little overtapped, and then they feed a couple kills that they shouldn't. That's the only situation that I really see this game possibly coming back. But UConn is such a disciplined team. It's very difficult to catch them in that kind of a situation.
Yeah, and they will be able to... I mean, McMaster does have some okay high ground defense. Pit is an absolute menace when you're trying to push high ground as well as the firestorms. And you can't have anyone sort of by themselves, or else you can't have anyone as a team because you're going to get pitted up and you might get counter engaged. You can't have anyone by themselves because they're going to get nightmared and held. So there's a little bit of hope in the high ground defense, I feel like. But it's just going to be tower trading right now. TP's coming in the top. They're ready to go. Here comes Naga. The song comes out. They're going to catch 2, 3. The rest of them, they're just going to get stuck right here. Here comes the Earth Splitter into the Stomp. The Stomp comes a little bit early, but they get lots of damage to December. December taking a lot of damage. Omni Slash in the backline. A lot of heals will keep alive for now. Logan dies in the front. Actually, they're going to be able to claim 2 high-end. Suboptimal going to make their way out of here. High-end wants this tower. There we go. They claim it. They're going to get 2 kills out of this and might go for more. Now jumping in. Brute out on a gyrocopter. They've got the Atos up. Chasing him down. No, he's going to be able to make it back. Even Firestorm won't be able to get enough. Unclose. Will be the last one to die in the engagement, and they position themselves now for a high ground push.
Yeah, there's going to be buybacks here. Or not. Just the Disruptor try and scare them away, but if the Shadow Fiend doesn't buy back, they lose the set racks. And there's no reason for it.
Yeah, even giving up the tier 3 is going to... Oh, here we go. Kyrie jumps in, gets the crush onto a Disruptor. Disruptor is going to get blown up immediately. They won't have him in that fight. He's trying to use the Dark Grip, but he is going to go down. No, he's taking his team with. They're out. Melee racks claimed, no losses on the retreat. That just happened, says the team.
So, let's talk about this, because I said the way that I kind of expected this comeback to happen, if it did happen, was UConn overextend after expending everything that they have. What they actually did was much less, like, forgivable. They tried to make an engagement while they had staggered TPs coming in.
Yep.
And they did not stagger those TPs effectively. Remember during the draft when I said, oh yeah, this Elder Titan is not going to be that effective in combination with the Naga Song. You're really going to have to do the Stomp after the Disruptor ult. That fight is exactly why. He missed everything. He had nothing of value to give in that fight because the Disruptor wasn't there to set it up. And we still don't have the Meteor Hammer onto the Naga Siren, which, once again, that's where these combos start becoming a little bit easier. They should have just given up that tower.
Yeah,
It
is about 1,000 gold away from the Meteor Hammer, and I agree entirely. I don't expect that Elder Titan will be able to contribute to a post-song. It is really all on that Disruptor. The Disruptor is so much easier to set up.
Yeah,
and then once they get the kinetic field, then they can throw their Earth Splitters. Then they've got everything to go.
Right, you just wait for the kinetic field and static storm combo to get towards its end, and then you throw the Stomp. It's guaranteed to hit everybody because its AoE is about the same size as the kinetic field. But that's not how they did it. They decided to engage. They thought that they were a little bit stronger than they were, and right after I praised their discipline, Here's a smoke.
Oh, they're going to find Kyrai. He's going to immediately get Requiem bursted.
That costs a BKB charge.
Yes, it did.
That's a 10-second BKB charge and BKB reveal. You're actually pretty happy if you're Kyrai. Getting a BKB charge for a Slardar, and, you know, if Kyrai wasn't there, they just would have gotten Roshan from the smoke. At least now it's defendable.
If they choose, it doesn't look like they are. They can throw the Firestorm in, but they've got to be careful with it because, all right, here comes the song. They've got the boys with them this time, but they're not very close.
There we go.
Firestorm is going to go out. It's going to catch the bait. Well, one, but December's got BKB up. The Eclipse is coming out. Kyrai's back in the fight. High end now. Omnislash gets used and just tears them apart. Insane doesn't make the retreat. Now Unclosed should be going down here very quickly. Is he going to burn down? No, he won't burn down to the damage, but a hit will give you the distance you need to take him out.
Yeah, so the problem is...
Logan. This will be a team wipe. How does Logan get out of here?
He doesn't.
He does not.
So the big problem there is that huge surge of gold they got from a team wipe, a set of racks, a tier 2, a tier 3. That gave Luna a BKB that she otherwise would not have even been close to having, right? That BKB completely undoes that entire combo.
And look at just look at the net worth chart. What happened because of that one bit of misplay?
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Never say that a game is over in CSL, right? I mean, to be fair, that's the sort of mistake that you can see maybe even a top level team making, potentially, but not in that exact way. That was a pretty difficult to justify to try and fight 2-on-5.
Moves back onto Kyrai. He's got the, he does have that, oh, here we go. Ego is caught up inside of the Fuse Grip. They'll be able to take down the Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter still has the buyback. They're going to want to get their team together, but they blew a lot in their last fight. Still 20 seconds before another Naga sleep. And they really need to sleep to set this up. Insane is going to try and drop the Requiem, but doesn't do too much to Luna. She still will have the reduced damage, but is able to beat up into Elder Titan. Here comes the Earth Splitter, but she's able to make her way away from it before she can get bursted down. And now, no buyback. They don't have any real way to fight this. They just use the Static Storm as well with no Naga Sleep set up. They're going to be able to get the Disruptor in the back, and the GG gets called from UConn for game number 1.
God, that's so frustrating for UConn. It all came down to that one fight, and it's such... You know that at least 3 members of the team are saying, why did we take that fight? I mean, it all comes down to 2 players made a decision for the whole team. That's tough to see.
Absolutely. Let's go take a look here at the end game screen so you guys can get a bit of a sense of the items, the net worths, and actually let's look at this net worth graph again one more time. That was the most singular turning point I think I've ever been able to pick out of a game.
Yeah, you can very easily point to it. Now, granted, the whole time we were saying, well, it only takes that one turning fight, right? That one turning fight could happen. That one turning point might bring them back. Not how I expected it whatsoever. Very, very difficult to watch. Hopefully they don't tilt out of that, because it's difficult to come into a game 2 aplomb after that kind of a moment.
Yeah, and as you said, UConn is typically very, very a very disciplined team, and they had all the right tools, and the game was going their way. They just needed to play to their advantages there, and they absolutely tossed away one of the biggest advantages that they had.
Yeah, well, if nothing else, it's a learning moment for them, right? In case they forgot, Dota is not a game about advantage. It's a game about pressing advantage. And it doesn't matter how much you feel like you're in control of the game. Making an error will instantly erase all of your progress.
Yeah, all right, everyone, that was game number 1. While the lobby is getting up for game number 2, we're going to take a short break, and we'll see you guys in a moment.